The Square Ball Podcast.
Hello, welcome to the show. It's brought to you in association with Levi's Solicitors, who will offer you a 10% discount on your legal fees at levisolicitors.co.uk/the square ball. But we can go better than that, can't we? For a limited time,
15% on
Will's
probate
conveyancing.
There you go. Team effort. Apart from Moscow, who doesn't bother with this. He's promoting a scarf instead.
He refuses to do it, doesn't he? He actually says, I'm not talking about those chumps.
I was just thinking over the, is it irony or is it appropriate that it's the Scotsman's show that has the bigger discount? Because that's the stereotype, isn't it? Is that why it's been arranged that way?
Yes.
Is to mock Phil and his people?
Yes.
Phil did pull out from his wallet the other day a little note you left him at about this point last season, didn't he? Which was he wrote, "Help us, Phil," with a little smiley face. And he said
Post-it note.
He's had it in his wallet since.
Which you didn't slip it in there in the press box. It was on the table in here, wasn't it?
Yes, I knew he was coming in for something after we'd been in here, so I left that for him. Fat lot of good it's doing us right now.
Run it back, sister. Just to let you know that the 15% discount on those things, just to wrap up that thought, is over on the Phil Hay Monday Club. Have a look at the video or the audio for that, and there you will find a special URL when you contact Levi's Solicitors to get you 15% discount on those three. This is propaganda anyway. Propaganda. The premise of this show is us laughing at the sadness of the football world. Unfortunately,
that joke isn't funny anymore, is it? As the song went. Well, no, it can still be.
Can it?
But what a great day was it yesterday? Did you watch any of it? I did not.
Yesterday being the Bank Holiday Monday games, 8th of May.
Where everyone who couldn't score down the bottom decided to score like 8 goals each.
Straight off the back of Phil Hay sitting in that... No, he wasn't in that chair. He was on Zoom, so he was in that little monitor talking at me saying that Everton couldn't score and Leicester looked more likely to stay up, and there was the whole flip reverse.
Yeah, it's funny. We came out the weekend, Leeds United almost looked like the sanest team at the bottom, because just losing 2-1 to Manchester City, relatively normal. I think we can handle that. Everybody's pretty comfortable with the way that went. And then Monday, which is only a bank holiday because of the new king, and this is how he kicks off his reign, making Leeds fans miserable. At least his mother gave us the FA Cup.
Correct.
So let's have her back, because I'm not happy about the way this is going.
On Big Sam, do we want to hear the messages on him pre-game?
Yeah, a few people got in touch, used the feedback form from the previous week, just send us a few notes about Big Sam.
So here's what people had to say on that.
I feel for Gracia. I don't think it's his fault. I think we were all frustrated with the lack of proactivity and subs and team selection and so on. But let's be real. This isn't his fault. We know whose it is, and Orta looks like he's lost his job. And I'm just following for the remainder of this season, not in the hope that we stay up or the expectation that we stay up, but purely because I think it'll be funny. Just commit to the bit, get Big Sam in. We'll all have a laugh and watch us try and long ball Brexit our way to safety. Even if we go down, when we go down, it'll be funny.
So we seem to be going from the sublime to the ridiculous. Victor's gone. See you later, Victor. Bit of a mixed bag, really. Sam's coming in, which is just fucking absurd. But then it's a fucking absurd season, so what are you going to do? I'd say one thing. It is never, ever boring supporting this club. And, there's something in that, I guess. There's something in supporting a club where it's always interesting. Might not always be positive, but it's always interesting. So we shall see what the next 4 games bring us. Cheers all. Keep up the good work, whatever division we're in.
How in God's name are we gone from Marcelo Bielsa to Big Sam in a little over 14 months? Fuck's sake.
Fucking hell, Big Sam, eh? He is not somebody I ever wanted at the club. I think I'm not alone in that, but I am firmly at the fuck it, why not stage. So, yeah, fuck it, why not? I kind of, in a sadistic way, like the appointment. I had no hope yesterday, and now I feel like I've got maybe 2% hope. But I love the fact that inside the club, they must know what appointing Allardyce means and what it looks like to the outside. And this is an admission on their part, without saying as much, that they know they have just absolutely fucked this up royally. And I think there's something quite nice about that.
Yeah, well said, that man. I think that's about it, isn't it? Let's address that point as well, because Clayton Heights White asks us, and I'm going to say this in the voice that I assumed it was typed in. As much as you lot so obviously hate Big Sam, he would have kept us up given a decent shot, you bastards. I did the bastards bit. We don't hate Big Sam, do we? I think we just hate what he represents, and it's what was addressed there by the last voice note, maybe.
I don't think I ever... Did I ever hate him? I don't know. People will probably go back now to when we beat West Brom and be like, yes, you were laughing at him saying he was a stupid fat dinosaur.
But we do that about everybody. We laugh at everybody who's not us.
Yeah, that's true. I'm not a big fan of some of the like the way he got sacked from the England job didn't reflect well on him, and some of the stuff with relationships with particular agents and stuff. I don't like that side of football. Some of the same stuff we criticise Warnock for, essentially. Style of play, also not what I like, but also you've got to say he's had a good career out of it, and he's been very successful. He's only really failed at West Brom, which when we looked at their squad, you went, well, Lee Peltier's there.
So far.
Well, the thing is, this won't be his failure, will it?
We could pin it on him, since we hate him so much.
Yeah, I just want to see something more beautiful, because we had something more beautiful, and then we've gone off the edge of a cliff. We've gone off the cliff edge and tumbled down the cliff face, and Big Sam has tried to catch us at the bottom.
I mean, we've lived through Warnock, Bates, I hate, as much as anybody living. And he was here for a lot longer than 4 games. Dennis Wise, couldn't stand him. Steve Evans, just the absolute pits of a human. But even Steve Evans, with his convictions, who's he got promoted this season? Some team, hasn't he? Some team. Stevenage. Yeah, the team. So good they named it after Steve Evans-age. These things, even bad people succeed. So I've lived through all those people at Leeds. I can handle Big Sam for 4 games. I don't care. But you're right. I mean, the thing with the England job, it's all pint of wine business, makes it seem quite twee. But he was, sitting there trying to sell the status that he'd acquired through being the England job into helping agents take money that they weren't entitled to. So it was a pretty ugly episode, but it kind of gets hidden behind, he's good old Big Sam and his pint of wine. So he's not, there's not a lot to like about him from those point of view. But as long as he's only here for 4 games and he goes away, back to his no tippy-tappy football podcast where he can be safely ignored.
I mean, that's the caveat, isn't it? Nobody wants him beyond these 4 games, surely. I mean, I know I've seen some arguments for, well, if we go down, we should keep him to rebuild. I'm going to say not.
No.
Not for me.
But then again, he's almost the no-thought option, isn't he? Which, bear in mind, we don't have a director of football, and the only other person...
I know it's a good antidote to this, Michael. Use some thought.
Yeah. But
mind you, it's got us in trouble,
they're still going to be looking through the phone book and going, I've got Corberan, I've got Allardyce and Paul Heckingbottom in here, and Thomas Christensen. I don't think... Hecky's not going to want it.
Have they tried... They should pick up the football yellow pages, give someone else a go. Give him a ring.
Give... Slot a ring, saying, I know you're in the Champions League next year, but
championship.
Yeah, that'd be better for you, wouldn't it?
Hey, we'll go get Shredder back.
You do raise a good point though, Moscow. Even if we do hate him, he'll still probably only be like the 4th most hated Leeds manager of the past decade.
Yeah. He's very mild compared to...
I don't hate him.
No, I don't hate him at all. I don't like him.
But Dennis Wise.
Yeah, it's not my sort of manager. I don't like the style of football, but if it keeps us up, great.
Yeah, and
it looks better than what Gracia was producing towards the end.
And it's quite funny comparing him to Jesse Marsh so far, because they are essentially the same person. It's just I don't think Allardyce speaks German, so that's the key difference.
I think that is the thing where everyone's drawing this line between, particularly the sort of mainstream pundits seem to be drawing a line between, how can you go from Bielsa to Allardyce? But Marsh as a bridge actually makes perfect sense because his use of possession was ridiculous.
It's like putting together a good playlist, isn't it? You need good songs to segue between the different genres.
Yeah. You basically, the Marsh was the bridge between pressing but no ball retention to
not pressing and no ball retention.
Not pressing and no ball retention.
Yeah.
But that's essentially the steps.
And it's all about vibes. I mean, Allardyce was saying it after the game that it's like it can't do anything apart from make people feel better. That's his key strength, is he makes people feel better. And that was one of the key takeaways from Marsh when he did his seminar in America. He was saying that I'm much more about leadership and creating a positive environment than I am about coaching. It's the same thing. And they also got led into their style of play through the same route. Allardyce, big advocate, early adopter of analytics and statistics, and they led him into the idea that what you don't want is possession, and you don't want to take risks at your own end, and that the percentage football and getting it long. That's why he's always going on about passing no tippy-tappy in your own half. Is he says that if you look at the stats, he was saying this last week, if you look at the stats, you will give up more goals by having possession near your own penalty area. It's all about stats. And the way Red Bull arrived at their style of play was stats. They looked at what was the best way to counter possession football. It's tackling high up the field. Where do you, it should take 8 seconds to have a shot, 10 seconds to score a goal, all based on the maths. They both arrived at their style of play through the same data analytics route. Just Allardyce did it 20 years ago without the backing of he was on gravy instead of fizzy drinks. So they're very, very similar. So it's kind of, you're right. The switch from Bielsa to Allardyce happened when Marsh turned up. We went from probably a style of play closest to what Manchester City were doing against us on Saturday to a style of play much closer to Bolton in the early 2010s. We were always saying that Jesse Marsh was a bit Wimbledon in German.
Wimbledon.
And that's how it turned out.
On vibes and in this case, a negative atmosphere, Rubers suggests we were far too negative on the match ball. I'm blaming you and Rob, Michael, for that, because I tried to be the hype man, but you weren't having a bar of it. Rubers says, listened on my way home from the game and you miserable fuckers didn't enhance the journey. We need vibes. All we've got to go to is vibes, lads. Let's hope and pray. And GBTT, that's get behind the team. And waffle, which is we all fucking love Leeds, of course.
Yeah. I think it's one of those where it was obvious from the reaction of the players in the stadium that there was a decent kind of an atmosphere going on there and a healing was taking place. But I think having watched it on TV, I just came away thinking, now, I know it looks tight on paper, but that wasn't a close game. Like, we should have been 3, 4, 5 goals behind.
The mad thing is, though, we've not had a close game against Man City since we've been up, really, apart from the home.
We beat them.
The home draw.
I'm with them.
But they absolutely, no, I said apart from the home draw, we beat them away, but they absolutely hammered us for 90 minutes.
So we haven't, since we came up, apart from twice out of the 6 times that we played them. So a third of the time, we beat them and drew.
If you let me finish the point that I'm making.
Yeah, I'm not interested.
It's a wrong point.
Started off badly. It's only going to get worse.
I'm just saying that the matches themselves, we've never been in touch with them, apart from that home draw where we went toe-to-toe with them. Even the away game, we were under it because we had 10 men, is what I was saying. Every other game, they've completely controlled possession, and it just happens to be that we got the scoreline that went in our favour when we beat them when Dallas scored, and we got a 2-1 out of this one, albeit fell the wrong side of the odd goal.
I wonder if Allardyce watched that, because famously Jesse Marsh didn't.
Don't know. Well, it was quite funny. He's saying that he hadn't watched the Manchester City. Who did they play last week? They played West Ham, didn't they? Did they in midweek?
God, I can't remember.
They played a game.
Yes, they did at home.
And he said that he hadn't had time to watch that because he was watching too many videos of Manchester City. I quite enjoyed that, what was going on. So I think he was trying to watch as much as he possibly could, and that game probably was not as relevant. I mean, Marsh had the luxury of a lot more time than Allardyce is dealing with at the moment, so I could forgive him that. It could have gone. I was thinking about this with Joel Robles and sort of him coming out of the game looking quite well. That really he's got Haaland to thank for a lot of that, because it was quite difficult if Haaland had scored the 4 that he should have, whether we would have still been going, oh yeah, it was the right. I think it was the right decision to let Meslier sit down for that one. But then I was watching the goals and kind of go on, beating it his near post and then didn't dive for the second one, and then this fuck up with Christensen, and imagining if it had been Meslier still there, whether we would have had the forgiveness. But I think that comes down to the whole game, is it could quite easily have been 7-0 to Manchester City. It wasn't, and we got to really pick the positives out of the fact that it wasn't, and then go beat Newcastle and West Ham and Spurs. I think we're going to get 9 points from 9. And still get relegated, which is the way things have gone yesterday.
Like Monday night, based on the games that went on and waking up this morning, it felt horrible. It's still there to be done. It's still there to be done. It's not over. It's not over yet. It feels bleak. It's just not over yet. Just hang in there.
And that's where the insanity of Monday comes in, because none of those games made any sense. I mean, Leicester shouldn't be so bad that they're giving up 4-0 to Fulham by the 50th minute. And then possibly one of the worst chants I've ever heard in the first half when the Leicester fans were going, Dean Smith, sort it out. Dean Smith, sort it out. Desperate, desperate times. If we ever start singing that to Big Sam, just close the club down. That's the point where we will have gone too far.
I mean, Leicester, of course, have got John Terry, haven't they, doing their defensive stuff?
Yes. So that doesn't work. John Terry's gone in there, sort out the defence. They concede 4, then they concede 5, but then Vardy misses a penalty. It could have been 5-4. Stupid.
What I like about John Terry is that he's got a really holistic approach. It's not just like looking after the defenders; it's looking after all their families as well. Very close,
close interest in their home lives.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's really good. It's like trying to take care of everything, tick every box. Yeah. So do we want to hear the mega mix, Michael, or should we move on to the fun?
I was going to say with Everton can't score. They've used all their goals up now in one game.
Yep.
So that's them done. And then Nottingham Forest. It's going to be so sweet for those scenes at the
Garibaldi, I believe they call it.
Yeah, the Tricky Tree Stadium last night to precede them being relegated. So it's all quite joyous.
We stay up on the final day. I've said it before. We stay up on the final day and everyone's furious.
Yeah, or I think the other scenario that I've been...
maybe we go down, but...
that I've been playing out is that we finish 18th and then Everton's points deduction kicks in.
Yeah.
It's like announced the next day. And then everything kicks off.
So we're all
madness.
Furious. The stadium's furious. We're annoyed at going down, and then
that would have interesting implications for the old. I suppose it's all down to the goal, like the share in the Premier League, because the 49ers are supposed to take over as soon as we're mathematically safe. So the story goes. So if we're mathematically safe because Everton have had a points deduction, and then it's like, right, now you own the club, but then on appeal, that gets turned over and we're back in the Championship then, and then the 49ers have bought us. What happens? What goes on? It's going to be great, isn't it? This summer's going to be hilarious. And then Man City gets shut down.
That's the right thing to do.
And we have to have Haaland, because all the players, I think, when Manchester City get closed down...
Birth City.
Get sent home.
Players get redistributed according to the city of their birth. So we have Calvin and Erling. Have they got any... Does it have to be Premier League? Because John Stones is from... Is he Barnsley born?
Barnsley, I think.
We'll have him.
Yeah, he's near enough. Yeah. He's near enough. Although I guess Sheffield could probably have a claim to him now. They're a Premier League side. Never mind. They should do that, though, as a reverse draft every year. Just let people down the bottom pick some of Man City's players. Keep it interesting.
Let's get into some clips then, Michael. Do you want to do the mega mix now, or is it going to be too sad?
No, get it out of the way.
All right,
get it out of the way.
If you
people need to be sad if they want to be sad.
So misery does love company. If you don't want company, 3 minutes here. Sit tight.
It's not all sad either.
It's not.
Some people are, all right with it.
Not just your people that you've handpicked then.
2-1 at City is respectable. And I don't care if they miss chances. We miss chances too. Every team in every game misses chances. At the end of the game, what matters is what the score is, and we lost by 1 goal to a team that is allowed to spend whatever they want on their team with impunity in excess of many small nations' GDP.
We gave them far too much respect in the first half. The third half gave Mahrez a fucking virtual red carpet. Second half, much better. For me, Robles, man of the match. And it says something that 2-1. Sit there, started wasting time and corners and shit. Fucking avid.
City fans suck. Our fans were louder and we showed more passion, and they're lazy and they're too entitled. So you know what? Fuck them. Fuck them and their overconfidence and the club that is made from a shit ton of money. We've got the passion. No matter where we play, we've got the passion, so we're always going to win. And I'm going to die on that hill.
I actually think that was a pretty damn good game. I mean, we weren't smashed 7-0. We put up a good showing. Rodrigo scored. He looked really good. Really happy for him. Verba looked really good. We looked better defensively than we have for quite a while. More tight, more cohesive. And I just felt like the fans were absolutely there and behind the team. And that was so nice to see, because I know that we've all been feeling, including me, just pretty awful recently, and it was just so nice to see everyone like really singing along and really getting into it, because frankly, Man City might have all the money and resources and they might be able to buy the league, but they're just sports washed, aren't they?
It was a much better second half effort from the boys. I thought that they were coming out and they, stole that goal and gave themselves a chance. They played pretty solid defensively, minus a Pascal Strike foul in the box, but we'll overlook that. But really, the thing that spoke to me was, what does it say about Jorginho Rutter that now 3 different managers have decided he's not good enough? I know that this is Victor Orta's problem, but I can't help but think to myself, why is a £35 million striker sitting on the bench?
I really can't say anything about the match ball, except to say I'm gobsmacked we didn't get stuff 6 or 7-1. But what I do want to do is to propose that Haaland is made a hero for not scoring goals when he obviously could have scored lots of goals. And Calvin Phillips is another hero for obviously hating it at Man City, not wanting to play, and probably feeling he's better off at Leeds. We'd be definitely better off with him at Leeds. So if we stay in the division, we should try and get him back.
There we go. Fair shout. Fair shout.
Calvin back. Do you think he regrets it, or do you think he'll just get lucky?
He'll enjoy hoovering up his medals, but he's not playing, is he? What's he played? About 10 minutes this season.
Yeah, it's not great, is it?
Put some Yorkshire puddings on your feet and come back to Leeds and have a nice time.
He might. He's got another move in him before then, probably, hasn't he? West Ham will sell Declan Rice and buy him, and we'll be in the Championship. And
you might just do what they always do at Man City and just be good next year.
Yeah, that's an option, isn't it?
I mean, it's how many times... we don't need to go too deep into City squad building, but if you think about the story of John Stones, how many times he's looked like an absolute catastrophe, and now this year he's probably one of their best players in what could be one of their greatest ever seasons with one of the greatest ever teams that's ever been constructed. So, he's got a stupid long contract on stupid big money.
But is he really happy? That's the question. I say not. Can we hear from City Extra?
Gets to play with Haaland and Grealish and Foden and De Bruyne in training every day, doesn't he? So it's probably not a bad way to go to work.
I'd hate that. I'd rather train with some chumps to feel better about myself.
Can we hear from City Extra then?
Yeah.
Because, come on, that's what it's all about.
So this is the bit where we scored, but unprecedented time for City Extra. There was actually a power cut during the game, because I was watching through the live stream, trying to get to the... like dipping in and out, trying to find different bits of it. But then when I got to the bit where we were going to score...
Oh no, there's no power.
It had gone off, and I was like, oh shit, the live stream's ended. Thankfully, being the pros they are, they got on a mobile, and they were...
There's no money in the meter.
And they started... so they're now watching... So this is from their watch-along, but they're not watching along, because all their power's gone off. So they're watching a mobile phone giving updates, and the YouTube chat, which is obviously about 30 seconds behind the phone updates they're getting. So this is what it's come to.
This sounds glorious.
Someone just said he encroached, it might be retaken. Pep got mad at Haaland, says if this is I said this against when he let Mahrez have it, man. Do you know what I'm saying? Pep screaming.
Oh, Leeds goal!
Fuck off.
Yeah.
Leeds goal. Fuck's sake, man. Told you these chances, people. You got to be burying these chances. We're gonna get murked here. How long's left?
5 minutes.
Fuck's sake, man. Why is he letting Gundogan take the penalty, man? It's a fucking joke. Said this when he let Mahrez take it the other day and he scored, everyone was chilling. Nah. That's a joke thing, man.
I love it. Just something about it's magic, isn't it? It's just got that secret sauce, the whole thing.
Getting murked, chilling with the joke thing.
Man.
Yeah.
Do you remember Rio Ferdinand's? Yeah, that was it.
Yeah,
it was Rio's
been
World
murked.
Cup wind-ups. I think that's the last time I heard any, but 2006. Wow, yeah, Rio Ferdinand doing a practical joke show. Great.
Sounds about as funny as herpes.
Yeah, almost. How will this guy's come to do a drugs test? How will you get away from him?
Right, it's half time then. We're going back to City Extra, and they've got power. This is good.
Yeah, Leeds, man. Leeds are in trouble, you know. Leeds are in serious trouble. If you look at their fixtures, they are not having a good time, man. They are not having a good time. Their next fixtures, listen to this. Newcastle, next Saturday, grim. West Ham away. I mean, possibly is winnable because they should be on the beaches, I'd imagine. Now, and then Tottenham Hotspur, mate. They are seriously mudded, mate. They are in the mud. Seriously.
Heavy, that.
I love these guys. They're amazing.
Heavy as...
Mum's been out to get another key for the meter.
It's heavy. No, that was at half time, so that's going back in time.
Oh, right,
Obviously, we scored towards the end of the game, so that was when they still had.
Mum's in the lounge refusing to go to the shop.
Mum's got she probably had a hairdryer on or something, using it, running it all down quickly. Turn the hot tub off.
It's probably somebody wanted to watch the coronation. It can't have,
that's true.
Have the two streams at once.
Oh, dear me.
Anyway,
where are we going next then, Michael?
We're mudded.
What we got?
We're just in the mud, aren't we?
We're mudded.
That's where we are.
I do like them saying, "Oh, you're telling Manchester City with Erling Haaland up front that they've got to start taking the chances." So, like, there is a point if you are a Manchester City fan, and it's got to be difficult trying to find ways of criticising the team, and it does come down to Erling Haaland isn't clinical enough and is too nice about who takes the penalties, which is what there's a little Jesse Marsh story in all that. I don't know if everybody knows, but he at Salzburg, because Haaland was scoring all the goals, he would let other players take the penalties as a way of kind of letting them have a go.
What a fucking joke of a league that was.
And obviously, because it was Jesse Marsh telling us, he's like, "Oh God, he's such a great guy. He wanted to do that for the team, and I had to tell him, like, Erling, you've got to be more ruthless." But he just kept letting the other guys take the penalties, and
the guys were always ignoring me.
It's kind of funny to see, and I couldn't work out with Haaland on that penalty because it's a mixture of one, Gundogan to have a hat trick, two, he's been missing chances all day. So did Erling Haaland have a crisis of confidence and think, I might actually miss this if I try to take it? And three, what do you think maybe a tiny element of like, I don't want to be scoring a penalty against Leeds?
Yeah, all of that. Can we go across Manchester to Stretford Paddock? And then some more Mancunian noise.
Oh, yeah. They're terrible now as well, aren't they?
They are terrible now, yeah. So this is, you'll hear him in the background. This is
green and gold again, mate.
They can't. They played West Ham in the week, so it can't. Who did?
No,
Manchester
it was
play?
last midweek. Yeah.
Well, then who did they lose to?
They played West Ham at the weekend.
Why are West Ham playing all the time?
Because they've got European fixtures.
Well, I hope it tires them out.
That's one of our remaining hopes. Yes, come on.
Anyway, I have seen this goal now. I must admit, I've got just unwatched episodes of Match of the Day on my box because I'm not entertaining it. I've seen the scores. That's enough. I don't wish to see.
I'm the same.
I don't wish to see happy fans of Everton or Nottingham Forest. So fine. I've unfortunately had to see the Forest goal because that last one, I think it's the last one where Gibbs White does that nice touch.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Rubbish.
Stupid.
Right.
Anyway, so this is Stretford Paddock where this sometimes has Andy Tate on it, distinct from Andrew Tate. He's not on the show, but you can hear him in the background as De Gea lets this one in.
Oh, no, De Gea.
There we go.
Absolute howler.
I
Literally
don't
been
believe
defending
it.
you
Howler.
before this and said it. He's always susceptible for making stupid mistakes. There's your contract, Dave.
Asshole. Fuck off. You're finished.
You can't have, there's no excuse
Can't
for
defend
it,
that.
is it?
Fuck off.
Angry man in background.
Just wandering around the background. Fuck off! Fuck off!
Good fun. Right, where are we going next?
Do you want to go to Italy or to Southampton?
Let's go to Italy. Can we finish on Southampton just to remind ourselves that there are people worse than us?
I suppose so. Yeah, we'll do that. I came across this clip completely by chance, and it's an Italian woman talking about English football. But something about the use of nicknames that just gave me a nice little flashback to the Fast Show. You know, when it used to go Boutros Ghali and Chris Waddle. It's a bit of Italian Leeds chat for you.
Non è un sostituto normale, perché il sostituto del signor Gracia è Sam Allardyce, per gli amici in Inghilterra il Big Sam, che anche solo a livello mediatico ha già vinto perché si è conquistato tutte le copertine, tutte le prime pagine e tutti i titoli. Quindi, Big Sam, oggi andiamo a scoprire chi è.
I love that, yeah.
Nice.
Because it should not be like Grosso Sam or something.
Sounds lovely, though.
Yeah.
Venti, like at Starbucks.
Indeed. And she's called Julia Friggio, which I believe translates as Julie Fridge.
Correct.
Or Julia Fridge?
Yep.
One of the two, anyway. So nice to hear from her.
Right, so who have we got next? We got some championship action, getting ready for next season.
Action.
Great.
I mean, I was almost as disappointed by the goal hanger, who's a Derby YouTuber.
Oh, no, so that's not championship action, is it? That's League One action.
League One action.
Because they can't get back to the championship now, can they, this season?
They missed out, didn't they? They could have gone in the playoffs. They lost at Sheffield Wednesday. Peterborough won. They dropped out.
Can I just do this?
Well, I was really disappointed because I wanted to hear some of that and listen to this young lad Being reasonable.
First off, though, I thought Derby created a lot of good chances, just couldn't put them in the back of the net. We were just lacking that final pass, that final ball, which would set us up for a great goal-scoring opportunity. Obviously, Sheffield Wednesday took their chance from the penalty when they got it, and in that second half, they came at us a lot more with the extra man advantage. But Derby, we just couldn't do it. And at the end of the day, Peterborough did what they had to do, and Derby, we just couldn't do it in the end. Unfortunately, we're not in the playoffs, but is that a blessing in disguise? Who knows? It has been a really enjoyable season for me. I've loved watching Derby County in League One, going to these new grounds, experiencing it all, and we'll be doing it all again next season.
Where are they in the cycle? Is that 2 years down now? Or is that the first year down?
God, I can't remember. They went down the year.
It soon wears off is the point I was going to make. The novelty wears off.
Yeah, but imagine that, just going off and going away and going and enjoying watching your football team.
Well, you said to me you enjoyed the League One years, even though it was awful being down there, going to new grounds and stuff. You're making the same point. Don't you pick up this young lad on your double standards, Normanton?
I wanted tears, though.
There's also the distance from Frank Lampard. So if Lampard was still the manager, or when Lampard was the manager, that young gentleman was probably an absolute menace to society. It's an absolute rotten soul. But there's been some time to grow, to heal, to learn as people. That obviously none of those things have occurred to Frank Lampard, but the people in his wake, I think some of them have had the chance to improve as people.
Who is their manager?
They got the physio from Rotherham. He's really
Paul
nice.
Warren.
Yeah, he's good. Dismissive of calling him the physio from Rotherham, but I genuinely couldn't remember his name, but I do remember that he was. It's a great story that he was the physio and got the job, and there's just been an absolute revelation as a manager. But yeah, good on him as well to just keep Derby just outside the playoffs. Maybe next year they can lose in the playoffs.
Yeah, and then
that would be progress.
Keep building from there.
No, just like then the year after that, just don't get into the playoffs again. That would be the cycle I'd like them to get into.
Should we hear some people who were a bit more upset about missing out on the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, what it does do is if we do go down, it cements a trip back to the Den next year, doesn't it?
So much negativity. Big Sam's keeping us up.
Yeah. You can hear a bit of... he played for Millwall, didn't he, Big Sam? Probably. Probably. Anyway, this is at the end of the game. If you're not aware of what happened there, they were 3-1 up, weren't they?
Against Blackburn, beg your pardon.
Lost 4-3, Sunderland won, dropped out of the playoffs. So this is full time, and you can hear the man on the main camera has been quite reasonable. You can hear a bit of Millwall stuff in the background. Sorry, bud. CV. Full time from the Den. A mixture of abuse for the players and claps. Unbelievable. I'll be honest, I never expected us to get it done today. But I didn't expect it to be as devastating as that.
Ah, well.
Just felt a bit sorry for him.
Why?
Don't know.
Because you're just feeling sorry for yourself.
I am feeling sorry for myself. Yeah.
Yeah, you're all sad and maudlin at the minute. I can tell, Michael. Do you need a cuddle?
No.
Allardyce
Don't deserve one.
did play for Millwall.
Did he? Of course
after
he did.
Playing for Sunderland, so he had a dual interest in all those shenanigans. And just before playing for Tampa Bay Rowdies, there was the just had a little look at
which of the Nazzle teams was it that had tassels on there?
I think it was the Tampa Bay Rowdies.
Was it?
So I'm looking to see if there's any good photos of him.
Tassels.
It was like they almost had like a suede. It was like a suede top after the shirt or something.
It
with
may
tassels
not
on.
have been.
That sounds practical.
Not nipple tassels.
No,
not like yours.
A suede shirt sounds a bad idea for football.
yeah, especially if you're in Tampa Bay, which is not noted for being temperate, is it, in the climate there?
There is a great website called NASL Jerseys, which has photos of all this. I can't immediately, swiftly verify tassels, but I can lose myself trying to find pictures of Big Sam in action.
Would you like to see
this evening?
Would you like to see Big Sam in nipple tassels, Michael?
I mean, we had not while he was managing us, but we did have Steve Evans in his shorts and a sombrero, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we were already stayed up by the final day. Big Sam does it in nipple tassels.
Very good.
From the what did make me feel less sorry for Millwall, I also found a clip from the away end.
Yep.
Which is where you get to have your fun on a day like this. Blackburn had nothing to play for either, I don't think, at this point. I think
they could have got into the playoffs, but
Sunderland,
as soon as Sunderland won, they
I think
couldn't.
Sunderland were 3-0 up, weren't they? So they knew they couldn't do it. But they were just enjoying spoiling Millwall's day, which I quite enjoy.
I love that. I didn't expect that. They're all crying. They're all crying, you wankers. Excellent.
So that was something to smile about, at least.
You found the tassels then, Moscow? Are we going to sign off with Southampton's misery?
It looks like it was the Colorado Caribous.
Ah.
But I'm sure there was a Nassau team had them as well, but maybe it was just the illusion of them. Strangely, the NASL jerseys, which is a very reliable website for photographs of NASL players, doesn't have any photos of Sam Allardyce actually wearing the strip of Tampa Bay Rowdies. I don't know, he played 11 games for them, scored 1 goal, but they've had to make do with photos of him playing for Bolton and Preston.
Yeah, there was no suede, I don't think, on this on the jersey. It was the Caribous. You're right.
Is a caribou the same as a carabao, as in the cup?
No.
Different thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
One's an energy drink. The other's a big moose.
Yeah, but
thing.
it's got a.
It could be.
It's got a thing on it, hasn't it?
It's just being silly.
Although
Michael.
of course, I drink Boost.
Anyway, it's got like sort of it's dark.
It's got like some horns on the front of it. It's carabao. It's probably the same stuff.
Yeah. Anyway, I was going to say it's got dark brown like shoulders, sleeves as this shirt that I'm looking at. We'll stick it on the video version so you can see what that looks like. And then around the just below the nipples actually, some what look like suede tassels. I think that might be where the suede ends.
You could achieve the effect by buying a square ball scarf from our website. Well, we've got loads of new ones in stock and they're very reasonably priced. And they have tassels, so you could unstitch or just cut the ends off and sew them across the middle of a T-shirt and achieve the same effect.
I mean, we have seen the leaks for next season's kit, which will be the nicest Adidas kit we've had in the Championship, which looks great. Maybe it's not too late to send them back and get some tassels added, or maybe the leaks are wrong.
Or just buy a square ball scarf.
And add it to your Adidas shirt.
Forget about buying anything from Adidas. Just buy a square ball scarf. It's best advice.
And put 3 stripes on it.
I mean, if you want to take that risk with Adi Dassler and his lawyers, fine. I'm not endorsing that. I'm saying just be happy with everything you buy from the Square Ball shop, which should be loads of things.
Please, can we just stop this hideous shilling of Boost? And
well, we don't tell
anybody
we've got stuff. We've got loads of scarves, so people should buy them. People like the scarves.
Mate, it's 18 degrees and it's May.
Yeah, but you look great.
Let's hear from Southampton.
Just finish this now because it's just god awful.
Yeah.
You know, Forest amazing tonight? No. But has any team had to play amazing against us? No.
No, not at all. I mean, then there does need to be a hard reset. There does need to be a massive clear out because this manager and this squad and this sort of performance in the Championship will get you relegated from the Championship. Make no mistake about that. We have been so poor consistently that anyone that thinks that we're going to be, make life easy for ourselves in the Championship, we're going to literally need a whole new squad and a whole new kind of blueprint. But it's just... the frustration thing for me is like, why not make? Why they've obviously just agreed to just accept that we're going down. And when I say they, I'm talking about the board and Rasmus and Sport Republic, because otherwise they make a change after the Palace loss. They make a change after the Brentford loss. At that point when they realise that Ruben Seller's points accumulation is even worse than Nathan Jones, big problem. You either make a move for Big Sam or whoever it may be, Uncle Woy, whoever it may be, just get him in.
He's ours.
Uncle Woy.
Should have done it sooner.
2 things, totally unrelated thoughts. Did you see that Fleetwood had a big flag for their final game of the season at home to Ipswich, and they were putting it across the wrong way round?
No.
It wasn't strictly upside down. The Ipswich fans from the away end started singing your flag's upside down, but it was inverted, so it was back to front. The other thing was Southampton being relegated and us struggling so much is interesting because it's kind of we're both trying to do the Red Bull thing in the Premier League, and it lasted a little bit longer at Southampton, but it's interesting that it's kind of petered out in the same year. Kind of
the Athletics, Adam Crafton made this very point also on Twitter yesterday, Moscow. Yeah.
Well, I mean, Not everybody looks at Twitter or Adam Crafton.
No.
So
I'm just saying that there is a school of thought out there, you and Crafton, about this point. Yeah.
I mean, it's fair to say that we share transfer targets as well, because we were trying to get Shea Adams off him. We were trying to get Perot, that left back, last summer.
Lavia as well, potentially.
Lavia we were in for Mara, that striker they got from Bordeaux. Bordeaux. As you would say. So we obviously, they've got Victor Orta's spreadsheet essentially.
The one that Buzzcocks did the song about Badum. They still have the playbook, even though they sacked Ralph Hasenhüttl. They had him write a playbook that the whole club is supposed to be working towards, and then they went for Nathan Jones, who was miles away from what they'd been doing, which is a bit Gracia-esque, I suppose. Maybe he's
when did Jones get sacked?
Gracia, like about 2 weeks later.
Has he been gone too long?
And then Ruben Sellers is promoted from within, so trying to make the best of what they've been doing for all this time. But yeah, I mean, even Red Bull have moved on, aren't they? Leipzig don't play like that anymore. What the fuck were we doing?
It's a fair question. Every club down the bottom has this same talk as well about we need a big reset next year, big clear out, all this sort of stuff.
I mean, a certain amount of the clear out is enforced on you anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, although I suppose who is Southampton going to sell? Ward-Prowse, because he can...
Well, Chelsea will buy Lavia for £100 million.
Yeah, that's
That'll
true.
probably be it. And then anybody else who's got a double-barreled name probably has to leave.
They did have 3 double barrels in the name, didn't they, at the weekend?
Ward-Prowse, Walker-Peters.
Bella Ketchup.
Is that right? There you go. He went off injured as well, didn't he? Yeah, I mean, they're down now.
Yeah.
So, unlucky.
There's only one place left, which is good. Reduces
No, 2 places left.
Oh, okay, yeah, because we're not... Yeah, sorry, I was confused.
Oh, Moscow.
Who did I think was bottom of the league? It's Southampton, isn't it?
Did you think it was
For some
Norwich?
reason,
Have you convinced yourself that Everton are getting the points deduction?
I thought there was a team below Southampton.
Nope.
No. Well, that's bad.
There's a team one place above them. Do you know who that is? Leeds United.
Yeah, that's maybe what got me confused.
Hey, listen, we're going to go and do Propaganda Extra tomorrow, aren't we? Rob's going to be in for that. And are we doing a no football Propaganda Extra?
We'll give it a wide berth, I think.
Yeah.
Just talk about something else. Maybe touch on football now and then.
So member show, we've got a quiz which is loosely connected to Joel Robles, is that right?
Yeah, I might actually get Moscow to do that today. I don't know. It might suit him more than Rob.
Right.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll
What
piece
do you
it
mean
together.
you might get me to do it? You're not the boss of me.
You can do it, can't
Well,
you?
just leave now.
Why do you hate Joel Robles so much that you don't want to speak about it?
And
He's pretty solid, doesn't he?
Thanks
Stand-up
to
guy.
Orta's Micro Penis, who has sent in a question for Michael as well. I only read that out because of the name.
Yeah, I think he was in a similar name last week. I can't remember what it was. I think it was just something like Victor Orta's got a tiny penis or something, but he's sticking with it.
Yeah.
Not our problem though anymore, is it? That micro penis?
No.
Well, actually, it kind of is because we've got all his players.
Yeah, and we're going to do a random number generator question and answer, are we? A bit of fun. That's not.
So it's not something we don't have to dwell on football.
A bit of escapism. Thank you for joining us on this one. We'll see you over on that one. We've got plenty more to come this week as well. Stick about. We'll see you soon.
The Square Ball Podcast.